Hi, Dave Snyder here. It is March the 7th, 2015. I hope everybody's having a good weekend. Mine's not so bad. I'm just doing some spring cleaning. Lots of spring cleaning. A long ways to go. But anyways, I want to point something out here. This is I saved this image earlier. This is the full moon. Okay, this is the entire moon with the lunar south pole centered, basically, right? And I just aligned it over the same pattern as I've been aligning it over, the perfect China pattern of the lunar south pole. This is the lunar south pole. This is reversed, by the way, flipped over. You have to do that if you're going to overlay the moon over the earth. And I got it lined up just like this over this pattern. And this is the lunar south pole pattern. This is the most important pattern you'll see, and you'll see this all over the earth. This pattern, you used to see it all over the earth in the weather. They kind of hide it now. It's really hard to catch an image like this. I don't think you'll ever see it like this again in the weather, except for maybe the typhoons and stuff like that. And I don't know if anybody remembers, but 2 years ago almost, when I said that this Schrodinger crater creates the typhoons, the hurricanes, and the cyclones on the planet, almost everyone I've seen so far, and there's the perfect example of that, showing that, proving that. So this is a big deal. This is a big deal. It really is. And I've noticed I think I'm influencing some other people. I think the Thunderbolts project is kind of got a influence. Their last video is influenced by some of my work, I think, because they show the drag. They put a nice piece together with things that I've been saying for a while, and they just put it together nicely. And I noticed a few weeks ago they did a what if right after I did a what if video. So I don't know. That's kind of cool because they influenced me too. The first time I watched that Symbols of an Alien Sky. That was a big deal for me. I noticed a lot of things in that video. Man, did I notice a lot of things in that video. And I was just going, that's the moon, that's the moon, that's the moon. Everything was the moon, everything I've seen. And everything I do, everything I still see, because it is. Like I said, this was God, and this was God's Son. See, it's like a little moon in a moon. This was God's Son, and it was like this. This is Jesus, the Christ crater, I call it. And I showed that already, overlaid it in there. But then it's also the Sphinx and the Egyptians that were influenced by it. It's the most important crater on the moon. It shapes, like I just showed you, it shapes the Earth every day, as you can see. No doubt about that. That's a very important crater. No doubt about it. I can see it's worthy of being the Christ crater, or pretty much. I mean, there's nothing that shaped the Earth more than the moon. Nothing except for the weather, which is basically shaped by the moon. Every weather pattern that's on the Earth that's like this is a moon print. Every single one. Every continent is a print of the moon. You just have to accept the fact that it's larger, because this is the whole moon picture, and you can see there's just an edge, just a little bit of an edge around the outside of the Earth, making it just bigger than Mars and just smaller than Earth, basically the size of the moon. And here's another way you can do that. Here's one. This doesn't prove it, but this is the same thing. Here you go. This is the Earth, and you see this big circular pattern right here, right? Southeast Asia and China. This is a perfect circle, basically, over the Earth, on the Earth. And I don't know why people don't even notice it, really, as a big circle. I never did either, until first I worked on this one, the deepest place on Earth, this circle, because of watching the History Channel, How the Earth Was Made. When they showed the moon, here we are talking about the deepest place on Earth, and they show the moon. It remained a mystery to this day what created the Marianas Trench, and then they show a picture of the moon. Why would you do that? Because that's what creates the deepest place on the Earth. Okay, so anyways, this circular pattern is roughly a third of the Earth. If you measure it, it's about 3,000 miles across. So it's roughly a third of the Earth, this big circular pattern. Well, it's going to leave the same size print on the moon. It's not going to. The moon's not. If the moon's only 2,000 miles in diameter, it can't leave a 3,000 mile diameter crater on the Earth and not leave the same crater on the moon. You know what I mean? If it's bigger, it's going to be big. Well, if it's 2,000 miles, it can't do it. So we're going to go to the moon, and I'll show you real quick. This is the same thing that you see on the moon when you look at the full moon. It's the same thing. You look at Mare Imbrium is the same thing. I'm not saying it's the same exact impact or whatever, but it's roughly the same. It's going to be roughly the same size. This is one impact on the moon. This outline right here. See this? Mare Imbrium is one impact. One impact. And it's the same size, 1/3 of the moon, basically 1/3, almost. You know, it's so, and we've seen the Earth is just a little bit bigger than the moon. That's the same thing. This Mare Imbrium is roughly the same size as that circular pattern as you see on the Earth. That's it. Doesn't I can't prove that. Well, I can prove that, but I'm not going to prove it. I don't need to. You know, it just is. That's roughly the same size as what I just showed you on the Earth, the circular pattern. This is South America. This whole thing right here is South America. It goes. This is the top of South America, and this is where it comes down to the point and back up like this. All right. This would be on this one. This would be the Chile and the Andes would be over here on this side, and this side would be the Atlantic over on this side. Right. Let's just show you. I'll show you here. For the Earth. I've showed it before, but you can see it. That's South America. South America is way big, like this. See the big circular pattern? That's Mare Imbrium, right there. Okay, that's Mare Imbrium, and this is the other part of the part that I just showed you. On the moon, this Chile would be over on this side, Peru and all that would be on this side, but this is 4,000 miles across, roughly. Or close to it. Go this way. There you go. So that's way bigger than the moon, and you're able to get this whole print on the moon. So there's no way the moon is smaller. I mean, and I just showed you with the other pattern too. And I've shown with Mare Oriental every day. Every big lunar impact lines up the same way at the same size. I can't see it being any smaller. I mean, I don't know why we can't just accept that, or somehow just a few of us get together and look at it together and you know, agree on something together so that we can, you know, have some credibility here. I mean, we need to, unless you think that it's better just to keep it, you know, in the background and not even talk about it. Most people probably do, but you know, I don't. I just like to stir shit up. Maybe that's what it is. I'm good at that. I like to do that kind of stuff. Talk about it. Let's get a little discussion going about the future here. Let's figure out what we're going to do instead of just letting them guys figure out what they're going to do, because they're going to take off. You know, they're going to leave us here. It's, you know, look, it was supposed to be 1,000 years before this. I thought before this happened again, the 30th century. Now I'm not sure if it's going to happen again in the 30th century. I kind of think it is, but it could be that it did happen in the 30th century BC. That's because all the civilizations seem to be sprouting up right after that period or something. I don't know. You got to kind of look into that. I've looked into it a little bit, but anyways, I was thinking it was going to be 1,000 years, and then they say it's going to be 10. The scientists are saying that it's happening faster, like 10 times faster than they had originally expected. And when I figured out 10 years faster, it made it 100 years before the magnetic north is in Russia right here. So that was it could be right. I was probably right at 1,000 years, and now it'd be in 100 years. I'm not saying the moon's going to hit the Earth in 100 years, but we're going to go through some serious shit in the next 100 years, I think. You know, as the magnetic north, because it's only going to take that long to get from here to here. 100 years. I mean, that seems like a long time, but that's not a long time. That's a blink of an eye in geologic time for sure. For sure, 100 years go by like that. And I think it's, you know, I think the whole Earth is moving. I think the new pole is going to be this area right here, where the polar vortex has been showing itself over the eastern United States and North America here. I think that's going to be, it's moving up to be the new pole. And I think that the Arctic ice sheet is moving over the top and down the other side, and we're going to be like North Pole or something. We're just going to have an ice age. It seems that way. I don't know. That's just a theory. The rest of it I can prove pretty much all day long with the weather and the moon and the images that I've saved and all that. I mean, I've got hundreds of videos showing it. You can check it out on my channel. Subscribe if you like. I come out with videos, and I've discovered some pretty cool stuff sometimes, I think. Have a good weekend. I'm going to go back to cleaning my room in my shop and all that stuff. Alright. Till next time.